Gentlemen, in this video we're going to find out if F2 cars can beat F1 cars using 0% AI. We're going to be splitting the grid up into two teams where the F2 cars will be starting at the front and the F1 cars will have to chase them down in order to win the race. Will the F2 team be able to hold on? We're about to find out. Here we are then in Zandvoort. The F2 cars have 3 laps to hold on to the victory, but we're going to be starting in the mid pack and see how many positions we can make up. It looks like we have the GOAT on our team. And also Michael Schumacher. Anyways, it's going to be 5 red lights. And away we go for the Dutch Grand Prix. That was a pretty long hold, but we've got some F1 cars in front of us to get past. As we head towards turn 1, we get past all of them before we even reach the braking zone. So that's a pretty successful start for Team F2. Collision with Albon, but it should be fine as we make our way down the inside and make up a few more positions there, as we now have the 2 McLaren, or should I say F2 drivers in front of us. Let's see if Norris has a bit more of a fortuitous race here in Zandvoort, as they're still going side by side. It's kind of blocking our progress on lap 1 here, but we do make it past Norris in fact, and that is us up into P4 with Piastri in front. The F2 drivers holding on for now. Speaking of, they've actually binned it, and that is a bunch of F2 drivers out. That's a massive pile up going into the same place that Norris DNF'd with the engine exploding. But yeah, pretty much all the F2 drivers involved in that. The Dutch fans absolutely erupting over all that carnage in the grandstands. And it's not just Leclerc and Norris this time that'll be hanging out in the sand dunes waiting for this race to finish. Speaking of Norris, he's one of the few that actually survived that massive pile up, as he's still behind us. He's about 1.8 seconds behind, and he will hopefully slow down Sainz, who is now chasing us down in the F1 car, followed by Lawson. So now we both know what happens when Sainz and Lawson come together on track at the Dutch Grand Prix. So for the F1 team, let's hope that's not the case, but being on the F2 team, let's hope Norris manages to hold them up as we get away and try and make as much of a gap as possible. And here we go, Sainz is making progress on Norris. That didn't take much time at all. These F1 cars are so much quicker than the F2 cars. They were a bit slow at the start, but everywhere else in this race, they're going to be much quicker than us. So time is precious, as we only have 2 more laps to hold on to this lead. And you'll notice, looking at the leaderboard, that Sainz is already a couple tenths behind Norris. And look at him, he's making the move down the pit straight. Absolutely nothing Norris can do to defend against the F1 car. Much faster in the straight line, better on the brakes, and better in the corners. Pretty much there's nowhere we are safe on this track. We are the next ones in the line of sight for Sainz, and 2.3 seconds is the gap behind. You'll notice that we're using the F1 movie car, which is based on the F2 car, and believe me, all the physics is the exact same for this mod as an F2 car. So we don't have access to ERS or overtake mode, and we only have 6 gears compared to F1's 8 gears. You might also notice that my driver's hands aren't even on the steering wheel. Don't worry about it, we don't even need our hands to drive this car. But on more pressing issues, Sainz has caught up to the back of us. He ran a bit wide there, so that's only prolonging the inevitable, but we're going to have to try and put up a defense to try and stop him getting past for as long as possible. And if we manage to hold him back for another 1.5 laps, we might actually win this thing. But he's going to have DRS on this straight, which is the last thing we needed, because he already has all the speed imaginable to overtake us, and he's going to go around the long way, just like Leclerc did to Russell, but we show him the door and we live to fight another day. Because we've now held up Sainz, Lawson has joined the battle, so maybe they can squabble amongst each other and allow me to escape, but I'm not rating our chances as we head onto the pit straight, where there's pretty much no opportunity to defend, and we might end up just like Norris did on the previous lap. And look at that, Sainz just goes right past us. Lawson will also be looking to make the move into turn 1. We have the inside line just like he did on Sainz during that incident, and we've actually squeezed him out there. Got to remember, it's 0% AI to try and make this at least a fighting chance for the F2 cars. The F2 cars can pretty much push as hard as they like, because they're not limited by the physics of 0% AI, for which should be an F1 car. So they can push pretty much as hard as they like, but Lawson's going to get past us anyway. We managed to stay side by side, but there's absolutely nothing we can do. We have to actually slow down for this corner, whereas in an F1 car, I think it's only a downshift, and you can just carry so much more speed, as we have Albon looking to attack us now. Hulkenberg's not that far behind either, so as we hold up Albon, he might end up joining the party as we head toward the final sector of this race. We managed to hold on to the podium for now, but can we hold on for one more sector Or are we going to drop all the way back to 5th place? We're about to find out. Albon actually got a really bad exit. He might have got put off by how slow we were going through that corner. But you never know what these 0% AI, as we go through this little chicane here, it's very understeery in the F2 car compared to the F1 car, and a lot more wheel spin coming out of the corner to manage. As we head through the penultimate corner now, will we be able to hold on against Albon, who's half a second behind? We just need to make it to the finish line. Sainz sets the fastest lap of the race and takes the lead, but Albon's going to fly past us, and that's going to drop us down to 4th place as we just miss out on the podium. I gotta say, that was a close one. We managed to beat some F1 cars, but we didn't manage to beat all of them. It is Sainz who takes the race win ahead of Liam Lawson and Alex Albon. Ocon with driver of the day, and Hulkenberg wasn't that far away from scoring another podium. We are now off to Qatar. I want another opportunity to try and win this race, so we got 5 red lights, and away we go for the Qatar Grand Prix as Alonso gets an awful start. Schumacher as well, as we slice our way through the field and manage to get past, crucially, the F1 cars and join the F2 cars at the front of this pack. And look at them all sliding through turn 1. We're trying to find a way through here without damaging our car. And it seems like we managed to do that as we have more sliding from the AI. I guess we really did turn them into F2 drivers as they're pushing as hard as they can. I think fortunately the only advantage F2 cars have over the F1 cars is we have a bit less dirty air to work with. So the battling is a lot closer. Antonelli just dive bombing us and sliding a bit out of control there. Russell is up next for us, and hopefully we can get towards that front of the pack, and then we have a bit of a buffer because all the F1 cars have to get through all these guys to even get to us, assuming we can reach the front of this pack. We managed to get past Russell. Hopefully Mercedes don't give the orders for Antonelli to destroy me after overtaking Russell. But anyways, we've got Tsunoda up next, and looking around the outside, nothing is going to happen out there. Just significantly less grip to work with, so I have to be a bit more sensible with my racing lines and not try to pull anything like Verstappen did at the start of the Dutch Grand Prix. But anyways, we have a decent run on Tsunoda here. Can we do anything for the high speed section as he goes flying through that corner and just track extends? So we're going to take advantage of that while he's continuing to track extend there, and so is the rest of the AI in front of us. But anyways, we managed to make up ground from that. It would have been a bit nasty if they did that and built an advantage to us because we're trying to keep it on the road. Anyways, that's us up into P3. Verstappen is out in front ahead of Norris, and we're about to head on to lap 2, and still you'd have to say that the F1 cars have a bit of work to do if they're going to win this one, as we're all over the back of Norris's gearbox heading down towards turn 1. Can we potentially look for a lunge up the inside as we close onto the back of Max Verstappen? Norris actually outbrakes us and he almost runs into the back of Verstappen there, but maybe we can get a better exit and look around the outside of turn 2. We already made the move there, but because we had a bit of a slide, Norris gets back alongside us, but we managed to hold on to P2 in the end. Verstappen up in front has a little bit of a gap we need to close before we can even think about making a move on him, as he runs a bit wide. Still manages to keep it on track, but now we have a bit more of a opportunity heading towards this braking zone, looking around the outside, but not much we could have done there. Norris is actually looking up the inside as we get blocked off by Verstappen there, and now it's turning into a brawl here between the F2 cars. I can't say it's going to be too helpful for us to keep the F1 cars behind as we keep on battling. Verstappen defends that really hard, so we're going to have to find another way around and put our thinking caps on if we're going to overtake Verstappen on this lap. There are still no F1 cars in the top 5, which is what we want to see. Even if we don't win, we want the F2 team to win this race, because F1 won the previous race in Zandvoort. We got a better exit there than Verstappen, but it can be pretty hard to overtake through these high speed corners, and we don't really know what these F2 AI are going to do. And look at him, he runs wide there, comes back onto the track, and we have to take evasive action. Norris gets a 2-second penalty. I can't imagine it can be for anything else other than track extending, because I don't think there was a collision there, as we get a better run on Verstappen, and he's going to defend the inside line here. It's all kicking off. Sainz has made it up to P4, so he's leading the pack for the F1 team. We're still trying to get past Verstappen as Verstappen dive bombs and outbrakes himself going into the final corner as we take the lead of the race. This is the final lap now. Can we hold on from the F1 cars as Sainz is in P4 now? He's going to be looking to make the move on Norris, who's got the penalty anyways. He sets the fastest lap of the race. It's only Verstappen between Sainz and ourselves now. We need him to do us a favor and hold him up as much as possible, but he's gotten past in turn 1, so it's now just Sainz behind us and a 7/10 of a second gap behind. So we've got a lot of work to do if we're going to try and hold on to the victory here on the final lap of the race. It is all coming down to the wire. They're going to be faster than us everywhere. So we're going to try and defend the inside wherever possible, make them go the long way around and make them work as hard as possible if they're going to try and make this move, as he looks to go around the outside. But we're going to close the door and he's not going to get through on this occasion. Verstappen still in P3, so Albon is the next one in line for the F1 cars. Maybe we can at least get 2 F2 cars on the podium regardless of what happens between us and Sainz, as we build a little bit of a gap here. Maybe we have a bit of breathing room, but we also know how weak the F2 cars are compared to the F1 cars coming through this corner, and we just couldn't get a good enough exit here, and he's going to go up the inside, and there was absolutely nothing I could have done about it. And because this final sector is all high-speed corners, he's just going to build a massive gap. Verstappen is still the car behind. He's got a 2-second penalty now. I have no idea how that's happened. Albon and Lawson now trailing the back of Max Verstappen. Can Verstappen hold on? No, he can't. He's been overtaken not only by Albon, but Lawson as well. As we now come through the final corner, I think Verstappen has done his job to an extent and held up the F1 cars so we can make it onto the podium. But it's going to be Sainz who takes the race win here in Qatar. We're going to bring it home in P2. Unfortunate we couldn't get the win, but we did our best, and that's pretty much all you can do, especially when you're putting F2 cars up against F1 cars. I think Verstappen would have got that penalty for track extending, but there you have it. F2 cars couldn't keep the F1 cars behind even on 0% AI. It's Carlos Sainz who picks up his second win of the video, and look at all these penalties. This is probably one of the dirtiest races I've had from the AI in one of these mod videos. Looking at the incidents, you can see it's all from track exceeding, especially from the F2 cars. But that is to be expected when they're pushing to the limits to try and keep the F1 cars behind. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It helps out the channel a lot, and I will see you all in a brand new video.